You can get the audiobook and ebook available on Google Playbook. Aroused by Adrian Vale. The jackpot between my thighs. I'm at rock bottom, and when I say that, I mean I'm truly down atrociously. It's not just about wanting to climax. I want to shag, properly, passionately. But, as luck would have it, there's no one around to oblige me. The complicated thing with RA is a disaster at the moment. We've blocked and unblocked each other more times than I care to count in the past few months. Right now, we're not even pretending to be civil. Sure, my body's desperate, but my pride refuses to let me stoop that low. So calling him is absolutely off the table. I even did an inventory of my past flings, weighing up who might be worthy of this thick, hungry peach. But the only two I'd consider repeating history with were both unavailable. Just my luck, honestly. Meanwhile, everyone else I know is getting plowed left and right, and here I am, marooned in sexual frustration. God, am I irritated? Beyond words. I've been teetering on the edge for weeks, and at this point my toys aren't doing the job anymore. I crave a man, warm, real, and ready. So there I was, slumped in my favorite corner of Star Bistro, nursing my adios motherfucker cocktail and spiraling into filthy fantasies, when a whiff of something familiar jolted me back to earth. Someone was standing behind me. Liam stepped around to face me, sliding into the seat opposite mine. It took me a second to recognize him. He'd grown a beard. But when I did, I couldn't help but grin. "Oh my God, Liam!" "Look at you. I had no clue you were back in town," I blurted, practically beaming. He looked delighted too, which was nice. Back in my old flat, he'd been my neighbor. And if I'm being honest, my guilty crush. The tension back then was unmistakable, but I had a boyfriend at the time, so nothing ever happened. He moved to South Africa, I relocated, and that was that. 2 years gone. We got to chatting, and the spark was right there, untouched by time. He ordered the same lethal cocktail and food for us both. Between mouthfuls, we swapped stories, catching up like old friends, or rather old flames that never quite ignited. I noticed how often his eyes strayed to my thighs, spread just so thanks to the short dress I'd thrown on. I'd filled out nicely since he last saw me, a proper pear shape, perky breasts, generous hips. I've always attracted hungry eyes, and his were positively ravenous. Before long, we graduated from cocktails to tequila shots, and my insides were ablaze. Outwardly, I'm the type who holds my liquor like a champ, but in my mind, I was a mess. All I could think of was mounting this dreadlocked Adonis right there on the table. We were playing a flirty drinking game, and the look he was giving me made my core throb. Once I hit that perfect tipsy high, I couldn't be bothered to keep up the pretense. I leaned forward and asked if he fancied coming back to mine. He agreed instantly, grinning like he'd won the lottery, and fair enough. Tonight, I was the jackpot. The bill landed, I paid without fuss, and asked if he'd driven. He hadn't. His mate had dropped him off, so we piled into my car and headed back to mine. I honestly don't know how I managed to drive safely with the filth that was running through my head the whole way home. Inside, I excused myself to fetch the weed I'd just scored from my dealer, a potent strain called Skywalker. I intended to be on another planet before the night was done. He rolled it expertly, and we passed it back and forth, the smoke heightening every nerve in my body. I couldn't resist any longer. I slid closer and cupped his bulge. It was like grabbing a warm, heavy log. My mouth watered. I needed to see it, feel it properly, so I tugged it free. Good God, it was monstrous. I dropped to my knees in front of him and kissed my way along its thick length. His moans made my whole body buzz. I teased the tip with my tongue, swirling and flicking, then slowly took him deeper, inch by inch, until his hand tangled in my hair, driving him to the back of my throat. I gagged, my eyes watering, but it just turned me on more. He started fucking my throat, slow, then fast, my spit dripping everywhere. I could tell he was about to blow, so I locked eyes with him and took over, pulling him to the edge until he shuddered and emptied himself in my mouth. I swallowed every drop. Tonight wasn't the night to worry about being ladylike. He looked at me like I'd just changed his entire life. He wanted to return the favor, but I stopped him. I adore receiving oral when it's good. But too many men think they're masters when they're not, and tonight I didn't have the patience for trial and error.